Now, with more on the investigation, is the Moore Police Sergeant Jeremy Lewis is with us. Sergeant, first of all, thoughts and prayers go out to the community. I know you were hit hard after the tornado. I was down there and saw the devastation myself. Tell us what you know at this hour.
At this time, a lot hasn't changed today. It's the investigation's ongoing as far as our detectives investigating the homicide portion of the event, and the FBI is actually investigating the background of the suspect at this time.
Is there anything that we know that might have been said as this was taking place? For example, was he a disgruntled employee? Did this have to do with Islam? Obviously, we have ISIS in the news. Beheadings are in the news. We have a call by ISIS to have lone attacks, have sole people go out there and attack. This happens right after that. I haven't heard of a beheading that I can think of in years. Do you suspect it could be related?
All of those are issues that are being looked at and investigated. That's why once some of the indications of his past and his ties to the Islamic religion, that's whenever we notified the FBI and involved them in the investigation. They have a lot more resources in that area, and that's why that portion of the investigation has been turned over to them.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It is a very difficult, brutal, evil, barbaric thing to sever somebody's head. And he used a knife to do this? Do we know how long a period of time this took, sir?
Just from the 911 calls, again, that also is something that detectives are looking at, but just from the time we were there in less than a minute and a half, we had officers at the scene. The shots were actually fired on the dispatch call before we arrived, but the time that the call came in until we were there was a very short period of time. So this attack was very quick and was continuing until the deputy fired his weapon.
Let me ask you, there was reports, obviously, that he himself had been a recent convert to Islam, and apparently he had tattooed certain Islamic saying, "Peace be upon you," which is used as a greeting by Muslims, and we're told that he had that in his last prison stint, which would have been, I think, back in 2013, so that might have been a considerable more period of time. Do we know when he converted?
I actually do not. I do not have that information. Have not been given any information on exactly when he converted to Islam.
What do we know about his coworkers that were saying that he was trying to convert them, and do we have any indication that that was related to his firing?
I don't have that. As far as that type of information, once that was given to our detectives, that's when they contacted the FBI, and they have not given me any information revolving around the statements or any indication of exactly what the reason for him entering the business. Our detectives do have a lot of information they're looking at with the FBI, but I myself have not been privileged to that information.
Can you confirm if what people are reporting in terms of his website are actually his website? Because there's pictures of him up there, a lot of things related to radical Islam up there. Is that the website you believe is his?
I have received pictures of a website. I can't confirm that that is his website. I know that the FBI and our local detectives are aware of a specific website. I believe it's a Facebook page that they are looking into, but myself, I cannot confirm that that is actually his site.
Okay, because I can show, I know that there was one one picture of somebody beheaded on there. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. And, you know, for example, other things, the one that we suspect might be his, says America so-called helps Iraq, which not. Well, why can't you help the Gaza citizens against Israel? I upload this picture because America and Israel are wicked. Wake up, Muslims. You have another Facebook post that talks about why the world hates America. And, you know, everything God says, don't do, America does. Don't be intoxicated, don't gamble, don't lust, marijuana, newborns, and circumcision. Man for women, women for man. America's legalized same-sex marriage. America sells in its grocery stores pork, cut off their hands, America, etc. Someone gets killed here, it goes on and on. Is that the site that police are investigating? Can you confirm that part?
Yes, we are aware of that site, and that is being looked at to confirm who actually is the owner of that site.
So is there anything else that maybe you could tell us at this stage of the investigation, what we know? Do we know if he attended a local mosque? Do we know who he associated with? Do you suspect that he was acting alone?
We, at this time, we have not had any contact with him as far as our agency. He actually lived and worked in our city. He does have a prior criminal past, but as far as our police department, this is the first incident we have had with him. So it's actually been less than 24 hours. We're still gathering as much information about this person as we can to figure out who his associates are and what exactly he has been doing.
Saeed Muhammad is a spokesperson for the Islamic Society of Greater Oklahoma City, and he said he's concerned. They're taking more security alerts, but as a result of this incident, and he said anti-Muslim sentiments could be heightened because of what has happened here and what's happened with ISIS. Then he said they have this ISIS thing on their minds, and now this guy has brought it to America. What do you make of his comment?
Well, you know, I understand his comments. Of course, there's tension everywhere right now with everything that's going on here and abroad, and incidents like this, which that's why we're investigating to find out exactly what ties this person had. But if we do find out, you know, that he was some extremist or anything like that, that's the way that it'll be handled. The FBI ultimately will take over the investigation.
One last question. You talked about Mark Vaughn in an interview. He was the Oklahoma County Reserve deputy. He was the guy that stepped in because he had started stabbing another woman, and he shot the person involved here. You called him a hero. He's a hero in your mind?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's no doubt he would have definitely killed the second female, and there were over 200-300 more people inside the business that he was going after. It was obvious he was not going to stop. If Mark would not have shot him, I don't know how many people we would have killed.
All right, Sergeant, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate your time tonight. Thank you. Now, my next guests were at the scene of the crime, Vaughn Foods in Moore, Oklahoma, before it was shut down for the investigation. Here to tell us exactly what they saw are Moore Daily reporters Sarah Jensen and Rob Morris are with us. Guys, thank you for being with us. Sarah, we'll start with you. Tell us, you got there before the police did, or before they actually set up police tape, etc.?
I did. You know, we office only probably about a mile from the actual food distribution plant. And so I was the first on the scene. I started getting my camera out and kind of gathering facts, trying to figure out what exactly was going on there. And I'm not going to lie, after about 2 minutes of being there, I was told this was still an active shooter situation, or I thought it could be. And so I was asked to get back in my car. And from my car is where I really watched officers, you know, walking around heavily armed, really making sure that all of these employees were safe and in a good spot, and that they had secured the perimeter.
It was first, as I understand it, reported yesterday as a stabbing. Did you know then and there that it was a beheading?
No, I did not. Actually, we didn't learn that information until early this morning, that was actually the extent of that woman's injuries. We just knew that she had been stabbed and that her injuries were quite severe, obviously leading to her death. And then there was a second woman that was injured critically, but that's all we knew as of last night.
I mean, it's pretty scary in every way. If you look back, ISIS on September 21st, their chief spokesman actually put out, if you can kill a disbelieving American or European, especially the spiteful and filthy French or an Australian or Canadian or any other disbeliever from the disbelievers waging war, including citizens of countries that have entered into the coalition against the Islamic State, kill him in any manner or way, however it may be. And this was the call, Rob, for the lone wolf to act here. So beheadings are in the news. I don't remember a time in my memory when there was one that we have reported on, and then all of a sudden they call for a lone wolf, and then this incident happens. From your standpoint and listening to the community, what are they saying about that connection?
Well, obviously the community is quite disturbed, and you're right, it's chilling when you put those two things together because there haven't been beheadings that we're aware of, and so everybody's aware of what ISIS has done with journalists recently. And so it's real easy to make that connection. And obviously everybody takes that seriously. And what we're hearing in the community, first of all, Moore doesn't ever get much in the way of murder. I mean, the most we've ever had in 1 year was 4, and that was about 6 or 7, maybe even 8 years ago. Typically, it's 1 murder or no murders in a year's time. And to have one this heinous happen has a chilling effect on the entire community. Is it directly connected to the beheadings and the call for the lone wolf attack? Time will bear that out. I have confidence in the FBI, and I have a great deal of confidence in our local police in finding that out.
All right. Thank you both for being with us. We'll continue to follow the story tonight. We'll have more developments and analysis of this brutal beheading in Oklahoma.